Hi all! So a while ago on YouTube, I stumbled down a wormhole of small kitchen appliance reviews. As I was looking to buy an air fryer and perhaps maybe a pressure cooker, that's when I stumbled across one of the worst YouTube chefs of all time. His name is Jack Scalfani, as I like to call him, Jack Salmonella Scalfani. I watch video after video of him butcher, sometimes quite literally, recipes. Imagine driving slowly past a multi-car pileup on the interstate. That's my face as I watched him teach the internet how to make partially cooked meals of varying types and taking awful and unneeded shortcuts to recipes that are already quick to prepare. The absolute horror of Jack's lazy man chefing, air quote, techniques to my boyfriend Tom. And now, since we can't unsee it, we are opening your eyes to it as well. I'm Michelle, and I welcome you to join us for this horrific journey, better known as Pink Chicken and the Lazy Man. Welcome back to Pink Chicken and the Lazy Man.
Hello folks, that is Pink Chicken Michelle. I am Tom the Lazy Man, and you are back for another, perhaps the most dangerous episode of Cooking with Jack we've ever watched.
I'm scared.
Me
too. Scared.
I'm scared too. I has a scared. So, we've watched Jack undercook chicken before. We've watched Jack undercook pork before. All of these things are definitely well outside of safe food handling guidelines. But this episode we're going to watch with you now is probably his most ridiculous, needlessly hazardous video ever.
Yeah, definitely. And it answers one of our questions that we had on the last two episodes where we didn't know specifically if Jack had an Instant Pot or just the Ninja Foodie. And it turns out the Instant Pot makes a comeback today.
It does, and for a very special reason. There's a special button on the Instant Pot that those of you like us who own an Instant Pot know it as a pressure cooker, but there's a special button on the Instant Pot. You probably wondered, well, who the hell ever does this? And to be honest, I just think they put it on there so the people who have YouTube cooking channels try it out, because it seems to take an awful lot of time, lots of things can go wrong with it, and the only thing you get out of it is what you could buy exactly at the store. Probably a little worse.
Spoiler alert, it's the yogurt button!
Yogurt button.
Yeah.
YOGHURT, for those of you who do the traditional spelling.
Yeah, so why you would use your Instant Pot to make yogurt, I don't know. It just seems like an awful lot of work.
In the old days, yogurt coming from sort of like an 80s California, very granola, very crunchy, very shark tooth pendant, Birkenstock era. In the old days, the only yogurt you would buy in traditional mainstream America supermarkets was really processed. You were basically drinking sugary milk. It was just a sugary milk paste. There was lots of high fructose corn syrup. It was all artificially flavored. There were tons of preservatives. You could leave the thing. You could take an old cup of, La Yogurt, which was the French version, which was so thin you could literally drink it with a straw. They sold it that way. I'm not sure about who thinks about opening up a can of yogurt and going, oh, I want to drink that all down like a shot. But people wanted to get the probiotic cultures inside the yogurt. But again, most American supermarkets weren't selling a good version of it. As the decades progressed and Americans got more health conscious of what they ate, you didn't have to make your own yogurt if you wanted to get one that has all the good probiotics, but didn't have the corn syrup, didn't have the artificial flavors and the harsh chemical sweetener taste. If you wanted healthy yogurt, you had to make it yourself. These days, with the introduction of things like Chobani and Wikos and Faye, there's tons of really good, really flavorful, all natural, like 6 ingredients yogurt out there that you don't have to make your own. And yet, for some reason, on every Instant Pot and Instant Pot knockoff sold at Boscov's or your other fine department stores, you will find the yogurt button.
Yeah, to me, it's just way too much work for the end result. They say that it would last in your refrigerator for 2 weeks. I just as easily go to the store and buy whatever kind of yogurt I want to eat. And
the other mindless part of this is you're not actually making yogurt. All you're doing is culturing existing yogurt. You don't make yogurt, you just make more yogurt.
Oh.
That's why he says we'll get into the video when he starts it, he says, oh, we're going to use this as my starter yogurt. It's just like sourdough. You have because it has an active live presence of cultures of bacteria in it, you don't actually make your own. Those don't come out of nowhere because that would be dangerous. You just basically take the yogurt from the existing store-bought yogurt anyway and culture more. by feeding it milk, which is what it likes, maybe a little bit of sugar. The problem is, because you are culturing live bacteria, you're not a scientist. I like to wear a lab coat sometimes, but that's for different reasons. I'm not a scientist. We don't have the testing equipment, the quality assurance equipment, the microscopes, the little centrifuges, all the scientific equipment you need to validate, number one, the presence of the living yogurt culture, or the amount, or better yet, sometimes when you culture something, when you culture a bacterial colony, you get other things in there. And a lot of things that hang out in people's kitchens are very nasty if you culture them and grow a lot of them. So every day you're probably exposed to a few little bugs of E. coli, of some other thing, salmonella, a lot of strep, a lot of staphylococcus bacteria, which are fine because you're getting one or two of them and your white blood cells quickly overwhelm them and you're fine, you recover your immunity, even in these days of ubiquitous pandemic. But with the Instant Pot, by making your own yogurt, what you're essentially doing is giving it a great agar, a great media culture, and you're allowing any bacteria in that pot to fester for several hours. In this case, it's 8 hours. So the real danger here is that you are going to fester microorganisms, live microorganisms. Give it plenty of food. It's basically like saying, you know what? It's just a Saturday night. I'd like to get some culture in my house. Show the kids off. So I'm going to open up the doors, put 12 packs of beer all over, and invite every biker gang in the neighborhood to come hang out. Now, you get one or two bikers in your house to have a couple of Coronas, maybe a slice of pizza, meet the kids. They could meet Snake and Paco. They'll be great. But when you get like 16 or 17 bikers in your house, now it starts to get kind of scary.
That's quite an analogy there.
Thank you.
So I think we're going to get into it here. Jack's kitchen does look pretty clean, but we don't know, we don't see the sterilization process that he claims that he does for the Instant Pot. We don't know if he gets the ring at the top. We don't know if he gets some of the cooking. Well, he usually separates...
uses 4 different measuring cups.
Yeah, he usually separates out his ingredients in different bowls and measuring cups and things like that. We don't know if they've been sterilized. We just don't know.
We know that into this very dangerous arena strides Jack. And one of the reasons that we're here, one of the reasons we have Pink Chicken and the Lady Man, one of the reasons you good folks are here. Did I say Ladies Man again?
Yes, you did. You said Ladies Man.
I think it's on Netflix. I think I saw the movie The Ladies Man thumbnail over the weekend, and I just keep oh yeah, Pink Chicken and the Ladies Man.
But we'll get into it
Hello,
here.
all my fine female listeners. Yes, this is the Ladies Man. Oh, this is the Lazy Man. But, well, we're going to start the video, so if you're playing along at home with us and you follow the link that you found in the Podbean, we are starting the video now. So, this video was released 2 days ago. There's about 3,500 views on it.
And someone keeps walking into the frame as he's shooting this. I believe it's Tammy, but we can't be sure because we don't really see who it is. But
we are back to that pixelated confetti look. He's chosen the wrong codec again or something.
It sounds like as he's going through this in the beginning, he's making this recipe out of spite because Tammy told him basically he shouldn't do this. So he's doing this to prove her wrong.
Yes,
which is the best way of the best way of making something is to prove somebody wrong.
Absolutely. Spite is one of the secret ingredients that makes Kentucky Fried Chicken so good, or it's one of the 17 different secret herbs and spices. There's spite and hate and...
So we're going through. There's 4 ingredients he puts in here.
Bring back to our original point. It's basically just... He starts off with 2 tablespoons of yogurt, and then he has to boil 8 cups of milk to add the yogurt to. Again, you don't make yogurt, you just make more yogurt. So we're just past the title sequence.
And so the other 2 things he adds in here are pure vanilla extract for flavoring and some sweet condensed milk, I guess, which has some sweetness and sugar in it.
Yeah, and that's also, if you were looking for a silver bullet to take down the werewolf that is your keto diet, there you go. Having a couple of teaspoons of sweetened condensed milk, because if you open the can, he's going to take a little sip out of it at some point. Because he only needs 2 tablespoons in the recipe, and he's opening up an 8-ounce can of it. So he's going to take a little swig off of that at some point.
That's
that
disgusting.
will blow you so far out of ketosis, it's basically like a rocket ship.
Yeah, but was he ever in ketosis? I don't think he was.
I'm telling you, I thought the last 2 videos he looked a little bit more svelte than he has.
I don't think so. He looks about the same to me, but...
Well, he doesn't... I'm not saying he looked actually thin. He just looked a little less puffy. He looked a little less inflamed.
Yeah, but based on some of the other videos I saw of him on his other channel, he's been eating out at least once a week.
Yeah, that pizza video didn't help.
No.
So now he's going through his strenuous explanations here of how everything must be sterilized. Because again, you're culturing live bacteria cultures. Everything has to be cleaned. And he tells you that he cleaned it himself. He sterilized it.
As he's touching it.
With soap and hot water. That's not how we sterilize. You have to sterilize and sanitize with steam. If you're just going to use that, and soap is not going to cut it. Soap is not biocidal enough to get the sterilization that you need.
And as you're looking, as he's pouring ingredients in here, you can see that there's still remnants of stuff on the side of the Instant Pot. And I don't know if that's normal, not normal. I just...
Okay, so he's putting the lid on his horrible monstrosity of an unclean, probably not very sterilized at all, if at anything, definitely not sterilized well, Instant Pot.
Well, the pot itself is definitely not all that well sterilized, but we don't know if he does anything with the ring inside that's supposed to help seal the Instant Pot, which you're supposed to clean at least once every, maybe, I don't know, week or how. I guess it depends on the frequency of your cooking.
Or if you're going to do anything special, like make yogurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see clearly when he takes the lid off the second time when the milk is boiling, you can see the steam. You can see the steam on the side of the stainless steel Instant Pot container. But you can also see lots of discoloration, and there's, if you look right in the center of the screen, like if you go 50% from the side and 50% up from the bottom, you can see there's a big black spot of something stuck on the inside of that thing.
And it looks like someone walked through the shot again as you were describing that. First of all, he's wearing a ring and he's wearing an Apple Watch as he's stirring everything. And we don't, again, know if he's sterilized all of these cooking things that he's using because he measures out the ingredients in individual bowls. But when he picks up the bowl to dump it into the measuring cup, he's putting his finger inside the bowl, which to me is not sterile. I mean, if you wanted to do it, you would pick it up with your hands on the outside and dump it in.
He's showing a second measuring cup. He showed the little bowl he had the vanilla in. No mention of that. No mention of whether he sterilized those items. He mentioned the whisk and he mentioned the Instant Pot.
Yeah, he doesn't mention anything about anything else. Okay, now we're whisking with the sterilized whisk
inside the Instant Pot, which doesn't make any sense. And then he mentioned something. And see, this is where his over editing to get the video as cut down as possible. He talks about tempering the yogurt that he's going to put in it, but he doesn't really show you each individual step. He just kind of half-asses his way through it.
Yeah, he just kind of dumps everything in, basically.
So now he's dumped his little starter mixture that he has, the yogurt and the vanilla and the condensed milk, bye-bye ketosis. He's dumped that into the Instant Pot. He's moving around to the front of the Instant Pot. He's hitting the buttons. And basically what's going to happen is the Instant Pot, it's not going to pressure cook. The valve is open. But it's basically just going to sit there at maybe about 180 to 200 degrees, not boiling, just a very, very low heat. And it's going to sit there for 8 hours.
It's just way too long to take up counter space for something you could buy easily in a store. Oh, here's the best part of the whole video. We get to the end and he's doing the airplane motion as if he's a toddler.
Well, he's flicking the spoon like it's an airplane, but he's making truck noises. He's like... Weird that he's doing both the truck and
Convoy of Hope graphic comes in, so maybe that's what it's about.
Oh, that's what he's doing.
Maybe.
Finally, the Convoy of Hope graphic makes sense.
Yeah.
9 chances out of 10, Tammy probably suggested that. Like, no, he was probably doing the airplane noise. And she's like, no, do a truck noise because Convoy of Hope, Jack. And then he changed the noise. That's why they cut in the middle after the title card.
He has his Instant Pot covered by this graphic again. So we can't see what it looks like at the end, other than the 2-second, where he shows it like right as it comes out. He
was going to double dip. Did you see that? He was going to go in for another bite. The biggest part of the video is his reaction. He puts a spoonful of that nonsense in his mouth. And he's just like, oh God, this really tastes horrible. But he remembers, I have to spite Tammy. So then he turns it. And he makes the noise in his head, but he doesn't make the mukbang noise. He doesn't go, He just does it and he goes, That's pretty good. It's kind of tangy.
I don't know that it should be tangy though, but especially if you put vanilla in it and you're putting sweet stuff, like why would it be tangy? Doesn't make any sense to me, but...
Because the cultures have been fed a lot of sugar and things in there. Yeah, if it's tangy, that means tangy when you're doing yogurt like that. Tangy basically indicates the presence of a lot of bacteria.
Ooh.
definitely the yogurt culture. What is it? Acidophilus culture is typically in yogurt. Probably some E. coli, because, again, he didn't take the ring off. He didn't take the watch off. That ring and watch are always seems to be on that hand, so those are kind of like his wedding items, so he doesn't take them off ever. Mm-hmm. No potty breaks, even when he's eating. He hasn't taken them off any time when he cooks.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, no, they're always on. So we get to the end, and once again, the 3 calls to action, the 3 things you can do now. This time it's padded out for how long did we say?
Oh, this is 2 minutes and 54 seconds. This is essentially 3 minutes. This is another one where it's 30% of the video.
See, somebody needs to report this, because it's really scamming the system. It's scamming the YouTube system into thinking that he actually created 10 minutes of good content, whereas it was 7 minutes of okay-ish, questionable content.
We had fun.
Yeah, we had fun watching this disaster, but then it's just, shilling my sauces, buying my stuff, blah blah blah. It's not fair to up and coming YouTubers and people who actually care about and are passionate about making good video content, that they're really striving to make, they say, well, we have to have 10 minutes, so we're going to give it 10 minutes of good footage. And he basically, just because he's been doing it so long, he got to monetization before the 10-minute rule was in place, and he just gets to do what he wants. And he really only needs to buy, the 2 minutes and 55 seconds. Show some of the sterilization technique. Show, I don't know,
If you and I were making this video, that would be the number one thing we want to stress. Because, again, your ingredients don't matter. You're just milk and yogurt starter. You're not really talking about the flavors, because you want yogurt to be yogurt flavored. Maybe some fruit. Maybe you want to talk about that. But the thing you would emphasize, we would take the 2 minutes and 54 seconds that he leaves for his stupid title card. We would fill that time with talking about sterilization and showing people, okay, just, putting this and rinsing it off under cold water in your sink is not good enough. Hot water and soap is not good enough. You have to get steam. You have to get high temperature. Probably want to, if your dishwasher has a sanitize setting, you just want to put only the things in there that need to go in there, and no soap, just the steam of the sanitize setting to get all your stuff, and make sure every piece you use. Then you probably want to wear gloves.
Yeah, and there's not much here. In other episodes, they said, show the chopping process, show, the peeling process. I don't know, show something that you're doing. Since there's not really much that you're doing here, the sanitization process would work. Or if you got to the end and was like, you know what, this really isn't that great, and here's why I think I missed the mark. Be like, if I could go back and redo this, here's what I would have done. And then explain it. Or maybe explain where he got the idea or the recipe from, or how he's gonna use it, how he's gonna can it up or jar it up so that he has it for the 2 weeks. Maybe show that process. Or maybe show him mixing it with fruit to make it look a little bit more appetizing. I don't know. There's a million ways you could add more time rather than put this stupid card at the end. It's just irritating. It's just cheating the system.
Yeah.
That's where the outrage comes from, at least for me. But Jack has released a couple new episodes today. Actually, he released what he bought in an Amish store in Kentucky, and he released a bundt cake episode. And I think we looked at those, and we're ending up not gonna review them. But now that we're kind of all caught up, maybe we'll take a crack at Making Money with YouTube series as a special extended episode of, because there's a lot to talk about there.
Yeah, we've been threatening to do that for a couple of videos, and we've actually, as soon as we mention it, we immediately jump into 10 minutes of content about each little piece. If you listen to our last episode, we kind of went through our own hypothetical sordid history of the Jack and Tammy show, how they got to this point.
Yep, that's true. If you go back 2 episodes, that's where we start talking about how he does his YouTube monetization and how a lot of YouTubers do their monetization with the pre-roll ads and why you need the 10-minute mark. If you go back and listen to those episodes, you'll get a better idea of what we're talking about if you're just joining us.
And he also talks a little bit about how he got started, and it sounds like he keeps referring to this group of 300, like Spartans. Like Greek soldiers, maybe.
Oh.
I don't know.
Greek yogurt soldiers?
Yeah. His Chobani Brigade. That's wonderful. Honorable. You die on your spatula. Come back with your spatula or on it.
Oh.
But I think that when you start hearing about him talking about his YouTube group, you'll find out that, he got to his 1,000 subscribers, he got to his viewing hours basically by begging other people to watch the video. He piggybacked off of 299 better cooks.
Yeah, and he says that he wants to help other YouTubers, but he won't work with anyone that's got less than 1,000 viewers. And the reason for that is because he wants to steal their viewership. It's kind of an in-kind thing. Like when blogging was bigger, you would follow somebody and then you do a link exchange, so you both mutually benefit from the views. He is doing it predatorially, I think. Like he's kind of like, I want your viewers too, ha 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 ha.
Well, it's kind of like it's not worth his time.
Yeah.
He has 400,000 subscribers somehow.
I wonder if it's possible to buy, I'm sure it is, buy YouTube viewers.
Oh, absolutely.
Like fake accounts, YouTube,
especially because he's been doing it for so long. In the old days before dual factor authentication was a thing for Google accounts. Oh my God, yes. I mean, if you had a domain name and you had a hosting account, like a cPanel account, you could create 1,000 email accounts and sign each one of those 1,000 email accounts up for a Google account so that they could be logged in YouTube viewers, and then they could just subscribe to his channel. You pay some person, a programmer, to do that for you programmatically, or...
Well, that brings up a good point. Like all these other YouTubers that we watch, like the Pressure Luck guy and Babish and Freakin' Reviews, they all got themselves a nice little YouTube plaque for reaching, 100,000 viewers?
100,000 subscribers, yep.
Okay, so why don't we see a video with Jack ever if he's got 400,000 subscribers? Like, where is that video?
It's curious. He's one of the few vloggers, one of the people that makes himself the content. And he always uses one background. It's not to say, oh, he's a location-based vlogger. He only uses his kitchen.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, he'll run upstairs in his little den or man cave or whatever to shoot the Saturday morning videos. But even there, you would think he would want that thing prominently displayed, and yet we don't see it.
I don't know that he has one. Maybe YouTube has gotten wise to the fact that he's bought followers, or I don't know. I'm speculating.
Oh, you know what? We did read in the YouTube bylaws that the way you get a button is you have to have the minimum. You have to have the view minutes, you have to have the view hours, you have to have the subscribers, and they have to personally review your content. So if they reviewed his content and they're like, yeah, you're not getting one of our buttons. We're not partnering with you for this. Like, we'll let you monetize the ads, but we don't want you showing off our thing. And you could imagine the YouTube reviewer, who's probably a younger person, probably going out, checking out, like, oh, okay, yeah, okay, well, okay, yeah, you're an older guy, okay, that's fine, we respect all ages here, and watching the video and going, Is that chicken pink? Like, did you cook that? You know what? Do you want to remake that ad? And all you would have to do is criticize Jack.
Oh yeah, he's fragile. Yeah, and speaking of pinkness, he looks just as pink as he has ever looked in this video. And I'm just wondering, is it because he's finally morphed into pink chicken? He's eaten it so many times, like he's become one with the pink chicken.
And so should you, folks. You should become one with the pink chicken by listening to every one of our podcasts. We're up to over a dozen now.
Yeah, I think this will be 14.
It's weird when we started doing this. We're like, hey, do you want to record one of these podcast things? And now we're like, 10 episodes ago.
Yeah, like we know what we're doing.
Well, no one's ever said that.
No, but
at least we know how to cook chicken.
Yeah, so if you recommend us,
chicken.
if you recommend us to your friends, like, subscribe, share.
We are still under the, we are now officially, our county in Pennsylvania has just gone under an official stay-at-home order. So if you are stuck inside like so many other people these are in 2020 in America, you got something to listen to. You got an entire 12 episodes. I think the thing said we were over 6 hours of content now.
Wow.
You can binge watch us. You could binge listen to us.
And who wouldn't want to? Our voices are clearly sexy, so.
Absolutely. If you like us, tell 10 of your friends. If you don't, tell 10 of your enemies.
Yeah.
Send the link, share us on YouTube, and we will see you next time, folks.
All right, thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.